I'm making this video for a student of mine, but I hope this helps many other people that find it, because when I was 12 years old, I was trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and all this, what are all these frets and strings, and gosh, you must need to be a genius to understand it, right? And it's really about patterns and understanding intervallic relationships. We're going to get into that. That when I was 12 years old, I thought the major scale was boring because it sounded like, it sounded like Christmas music or pop. And at that time, I wanted to listen to and learn to play Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, really music that my older uncles would listen to. I was much too young to be listening to that kind of music, but I fell in love with it. And so that's what I wanted to learn to play. I wanted to play the blues scale and the minor pentatonic scale, which are widely used in those genres of music. So the G major scale, or any key for that matter, the major scale in general, did not appeal to me like it should have at first. But then I found out by the time I was about 14 and a half or 15 that my understanding of music is going to be limited if I'm just only playing minor pentatonic and blues scale. Okay, guys, here's a few music theory tips to get you moving along as quickly as possible. Regarding the intervallic relationships, we use that system when we're memorizing patterns on the fretboard. So if we're looking at the G major scale just only on the low E string, we have the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret, 12th fret, 14th fret, and 15th fret to get back up to the octave, the G. So between that first and second interval, that's one whole step, okay? So that's 2 frets. 2 frets equals one whole step. And between the third and the second and the third, it's another whole step, or 2 frets. Between the third and the fourth, that's a half step. That's just 1 fret. And then we have between the 4th and the 5th, a whole step. Between the 5th and the 6th, another whole step. Between the 6th and the 7th, another whole step. And then finally, a half step to return back up to the root. So altogether, we have whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Okay, that's going horizontal up the fretboard. If we're going vertical, I tend to look at it in that first position as a whole step on the low E string, half whole on the A string, whole half on the D, whole half on the G, whole on the B, and then finally a half step to finish it off on the high E string. And then going up the actual high E string, we can do the same thing. So that would be whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So my entire memorization of the fretboard and all the patterns and fingerings really work like that. I'm looking at the intervallic relationship. So I'm looking at, the second, the whole steps and the half steps. And if there's 3 frets, then it's going to be a minor third. That's what I call a minor third. And then 4 frets would be a major third. But in this case, with the major scale, we're just looking at whole steps and half steps. So that's all you need to know for now. Another tip is looking at the G scale, the first position. It's so beautifully works its way around this G chord. So if you're starting with the G chord, you have the perfect fingering to start that first position of the G major scale. Just like that. I learned that if you number it first, like starting at the root or the home note G, you go first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then back to the first again. That's G again. And then repeat the process up an octave higher, which are the same notes but higher in frequency. So we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to the 1 again. So right here in this fingering, in this position, we have 3 Gs. Okay, so that's really important to understand that right off the bat. So what I would do is I would play the scale ascending and then descending. And I think a good practice, and then if you're a beginner, if you're an absolute beginner, start it off at like 60 beats per minute, 65 beats per minute, something like that. And just play along on the beat. And then eventually work yourself up to, let's just say 100 beats per minute. Descending. Okay, and that's a little bit faster from when you get more confident with that, you can bring it up to 100 beats per minute. Practice to that 10 minutes per day, and then for the next 10 to 15 minutes, practice free flowing to a backing track that you find on Google or YouTube. And let's say if I go to YouTube and I type in backing track, I'm trying to type with one hand, sorry, and G major. Let's say I'm going to click on this. I'm going to put the link down below so you can click on the same backing track if you would like, or you can find your own. So for 10 minutes, you can practice like this. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just kind of jumping around, having fun, finding notes. Some of the notes don't sound as good, some of them do. And that's really what you should be practicing. Just finding the notes that sound good, that really harmonize with those changes is what you want to do. And it's kind of a cool practice when you're just starting off. You can hit 2 notes per interval, so you can actually go like this. So just have fun. Most of all, just have fun. I'm not going to be able to play. Like, I'm just having fun making nonsense, really. But because I'm so practiced at it, even when I'm fooling around, it kind of sounds musical, right? You don't expect to get there. This is like, you can spend months on this, years, the rest of your life, exploring those creative sides of your mind, right? It's not going to come all at once. But all you need to do is get a glimpse of what it feels like to hit a couple of notes in the right areas, and that is enough to be inspired. So one thing I used to like to do is play the G major scale, ascending, and then back down to the beginning. And instead of just ending on 3, go to the 2, and then back to the 3. That's like that. That's a more musical way of playing the scale to me, because you get that last 2nd fret back to that 3rd fret. It just sounds so pretty. And you can even couple it with a nice G chord if you'd like. So the next thing that I did was I connected that first position. I went up the neck, a whole step, a whole step, a half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Remember, we talked about whole steps and half steps. Whole step is 2 frets, a half step is 1 fret. So if I continue up this scale like this is now the 3rd octave all the way up here to that G. So now we're back to home again, 1, the root. So we have and then from there, you can actually use this same pattern at the 3rd fret. If you move it up to the 15th fret, you can play that same scale up here an octave higher, going horizontal instead of vertical. Look at this. Like that. That's the same pattern that I used down here at the 3rd fret. Like that. So when you add that first position and then ascend up the high E string using the G major scale, and then back down, descend down that higher octave, and look at this. You can do 15, 14, 15, just like 3, 2, 3 down here. Look at that. Okay, and then if you want to get brave, you can go down the same way you came up on that high E string, and then you're back to G again. So we have and that completes the cycle of the G major scale using both octaves. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. And if you like the information that I provide, please like and subscribe and support my channel. Don't forget to use the YouTube features down here, the tools that you can use to slow the video down to 50 to 75% the normal speed. And this helps you to retain that information better. If you have any questions or any suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back with you. I appreciate it so much and hope to see you guys soon.